Well, hello there. It's been a while. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're not. If you're not new, you know I usually upload fairly consistently once a week, but I've had a lot going on. For one, if you noticed, I'm in a new space. I don't really show my apartment too much, so you might not notice, but we got a very short notice that our landlord sold our old apartment and we had to find a new place and move out within a couple weeks. So that has taken up almost all of our time and definitely all of our energy just looking for a place. And here, when you find a place, you usually just move in like right then and there. So we had to get all packed up. We had to just be prepared to move at any given point. So that has been taking up a lot of time and energy. And I mention energy because I am also 11 weeks pregnant. So when you're watching this, I will be almost 12 weeks, and energy has just not been in great supply lately. It has been a lot for me to just get up and do daily tasks, not to mention having a 1-year-old, chasing him around. It has just been a lot to keep up with YouTube. And then, if you remember in my last video, I talked about something called the resistance that really just keeps you from pursuing creative endeavors. And the resistance after I posted my last video was so strong and so thick, I did not stand a chance. With everything going on top of having the resistance to create, I didn't stand a chance. So that's why I've been gone. Yeah, it's been crazy here, but I'm happy. I'm thankful for it all. I'm happy to have found a place, happy to have a little one growing. I'm all very thankful to God for the many blessings that He continues to bestow on us. Today we have 2 goals. My one goal is to make homemade bagels. Never made them before, but last week I made homemade English muffins and they were pretty delicious, but I'm really craving bagels and cream cheese, and they don't sell bagels here, so I have to make them from scratch. My second goal is to get outside and do something with my son. It's a dreary day. I don't want to be cooped up inside all day. Yeah? Okay. I really want to get out and do something, whether it's going to an indoor park, going to the mall and just walking around. Just don't want to be in our house. So those are my 2 goals, and I'm going to take you along with me. But I also want to discuss the topic of living up to your life's purpose. So let's get into the video. There was a point in my life when finding my life's purpose and accomplishing it was my obsession. I agonized over the thought of not living up to my potential and dying, not ever fulfilling what I was called to do. In dating my now husband, he asked me what my greatest fear was. My answer: living a mediocre life. I obsessed over finding the right career path, the right way of thinking, the path of enlightenment, if you will. I prayed earnestly, day in and day out, for the Lord to just reveal His will for my life. If it wasn't His will, I didn't want it. I just wanted to know what His will was so that I could do it. This constant search for my grand life purpose left me in turmoil most days, because there I was working a 9-to-5, not finished school yet, and barely any money to my name. The idea that my purpose was out there, but I was yet accomplishing it, was literally my worst nightmare. Until one day, in reading scripture or deep in thought somewhere, I had a light bulb moment. I found my purpose, and to my surprise, it had little to do with goals, accomplishments, or achievements. I realized I was banking my entire life's worth so much on personal achievement, and yet the answer was obvious in front of my eyes. To love God and to love His people is literally the whole duty of man. That's the crux of it. That's what all of the law in the Old Testament hangs on, and it's what Jesus talked about the most. In that moment, I started to analyze my life with a different perspective. The 9-to-5 job that I was working was with special needs students, and it was there that I realized I wanted to become a teacher, specializing in special education. That job paid for my college and allowed me to be where I am today, preparing to open a school overseas. By clocking in and day out, by obeying His voice in the small things, I was accomplishing my purpose. By loving my coworkers, my students, and displaying His glory in all that I did, I was accomplishing my purpose. So fast forward to today, where my life may seem really simple and mundane. I wake up, I take care of my son, I clean my house, I go to language school, and I cook lots and lots of food. I attempt to love my husband well and serve my family and our neighbors. It may seem like a grand purpose has been missed, or I've fallen into my worst nightmare, which is a mediocre life. But there's one thing that puts my heart at ease, knowing that exactly where I am is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Day in and day out, as I live for His glory, in the mundane and in the spectacular, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. That every step of the way, from marrying my husband, having our son, moving overseas, and living our life here, through the power of the Holy Spirit, was out of obedience to God's will. And in that, I find the ability to say that if today were my last, I'd be okay. I've already accomplished my life's purpose. My cup overflows. There's so much I still want to accomplish, so much that I feel called to, yet I've been putting off in a perpetual state of procrastination. But when my heart starts to be troubled by these thoughts, I ask myself, what is it that God is having me do today? And let's do that. Those moments of obedience that shape a life of accomplishment. It's listening for God's voice in everything you do that accumulates to a life of notoriety. The gold isn't just in the destination, it's also in every moment of surrender along the way. So, it is currently 8:29 p.m. I got the bagels done, but we were not able to get out of the house today. Shortly after I finished the bagels, a friend came over, and then we watched another friend's son. So we weren't able to get out, but I am happy that I was able to make homemade bagels. My last bit of encouragement to you, or challenge to you, is just to ask, what is God calling you to do in this season? Are you sitting still enough to listen? And is your heart prepared to do whatever it is He's asking of you? I'd love to talk to you about this in the comments. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this introspective letter to myself and anyone else out there that's watching, from my soul to yours.
Jesus.